Good morning, everybody. If you would, please get out your practice quiz for sections 8.1 and 8.2. I'm going to briefly go through how to do all of these problems, and hopefully that will answer any questions that you may have. I think all this stuff was pretty straightforward, very similar to everything we had talked about. So hopefully you're doing great. Okay, the very first problem says the scale model boat is 9 inches long while the actual boat is 60 feet, and just find the ratio of the length of the scale model to the length of the actual boat. So that's easy because you just go, well, 9 inches is to 60 feet. But you have to have it in the same units. So we can either talk about everything in inches or everything in feet. So I'm going to convert the bottom to inches. I got 9 inches and multiply 60 times 12, and I get 720 inches. And then that reduces because 9 goes into 72. And so this becomes 1/80, and the inches cancel out. Okay, so the scale ratio would be 1:80. All right, second problem. It's just a basic proportion asking you to solve. Cross multiply, and you get that 10x would have to be equal to 120. Divide both sides by 10, and x is 12. The next one says there exists a map where on the map, 1 centimeter on the map actually is 20 miles in real life. And it says there's some county that's 90 miles wide, so how wide would that be on the map? And so we go, well, all I know, this is my true ratio, so I can write that 1 centimeter is the same thing as 20 miles. And then some people are going to mess up where to put this, but you always match up centimeters to centimeters and miles to miles. So this goes on the bottom, 90 miles. So I don't know the number of centimeters. Cross multiply, and you get that 90 times 1, it's just 90, is equal to 20 times x. Divide both sides by 20, you get that x has to be 4.5. And in this case, it would be 4.5 centimeters. So a 90-mile county would be 4.5 centimeters on the map. All right, the next 3 problems are all based off of this proportion that they gave us. They said xy is equal to 7/11. That's the truth that we're working from. Let's see, there we go. It's not working. One more try. There we go. Okay. And so from that, we're trying to figure out what we do with these other things. Well, the first one says y over x. If it's y over x, then it's just the other side is going to be flipped as well. And so this is going to be 11/7. If it's 7y, well, they got that by cross multiplying here and here. So 7y is going to be equal to 11x. And for x plus y over y, all they did was add the denominator to the top. And so we do the same thing. We get 7 plus 11 over 11, which is the same thing as 18/11. Really simple stuff. All right, the next 3 are based off of this illustration. Now, there's 2 important things. One, the similarity statement right here. That shows us what corresponds to what. But the other really important thing, which I don't have in the picture here, is it did say the word trapezoids. Okay, and so from that, we need to be able to answer some questions. Trapezoids, that means that this and this are parallel, this and this are parallel, okay? It's got exactly 1 set of parallel sides. So that's something we know going into this problem, okay? The first one says, well, what's the measure of angle H? Well, when I look on my similarity statement, H corresponds to L, okay? So I know that the measure of angle H is going to be equal to the measure of angle L, which is 74 degrees, okay? To figure out x, I'm going to have to set up a proportion. I could say that 30 is to 42. 30 is to 42 in the same way that 35 is to x. In the same way that 35 is to x. And then cross multiply. And so you get, now, real quick before I finish this problem, something you can do that we probably haven't talked about a lot is you can reduce any of this if it makes it a lot easier. Like I could reduce this fraction right here. I don't know if you guys realize, but the number 6 goes into both 30 and 42. So this thing could reduce to 6 times 5 and 6 times 7 equals 35 over x. And the 6's would cancel out. So I'm saying that's 30 over 42 is actually the exact same fraction as 5/7. And why that's important is because then all of a sudden this could just have a little bit easier, just dealing with a little bit easier numbers. And so I look at that and go, man, that's just a lot easier to deal with. Now, if you're using the calculator, it doesn't matter. But for me, I'm just going, okay, this one, now it's 5x is equal to 7 times 35 is going to be 245. Okay. And so then divide both sides by 5. And you get that x is equal to, let's see here. X is equal to what, 490, I think? No, I mean 49. Not 490, 49. I think so, right? 49 would be 245. Yeah. Okay. So x is 49. Okay, and then the measure of angle D. Now this one is a little bit more challenging. First we got to go, well, D corresponds to B. And B is up here, and I don't have the measure of that angle. But I know, I've got too much going on in terms of all this stuff. Let me get rid of this. I know because this side is parallel to this side is parallel to this side, these two angles right here and here are same side interior angles, so they must be supplementary. So that means if that one's 81, then this one up here must be 99 degrees, okay? And B is the same size as D. So I know that the measure angle D is equal to the measure angle B, which is 99 degrees. All right, 2 problems to go. Here we go. It says we've got this drawing or illustration that's on a 4x6, or that is 4 inches by 6 inches. We want to blow it up, and the piece of poster board we have is 20 by 24. We're trying to figure out how big can we make it, but so that it still fits on the poster board or can be printed on the poster. And so what I know is I want the ratio 4:6. Okay, that's this ratio that I need. And so the first thing I always do is I just check and go, okay, will that work? Is 4:6 the same as the ratio is 20 to 24? And so I cross multiply and I say 6 times 20 is 120 and 4 times 24 is 96. So that's not the same. Okay, that's not true. So automatically it doesn't work just as it is. I can't just blow it up and it works. So then what I have to do is I have to say, well, either the 20 is wrong or the 24 is wrong. Okay, it's one of the two. And so I'm going to go ahead and solve for both of these. Let's get this one over. Okay, so for this one, I would get that 6x is equal to 4 times 24 is 96. Divide both sides by 6, and you get x is equal to 16. Great. For the other one, I would go, okay, I'm going to cross multiply and say 4x is equal to 6 times 20 is 120. Divide both sides by 4, and x is equal to 30. Okay, so then I've got 2 different numbers, but I go, what works? Well, in this first case, what that would mean is that my picture would be 16 by 24. And in my second case right here, that would mean that my picture would be 20 by 30. Okay? And so the first one, it's 16 by 24. The second one, it's 20 by 30. But I need it to fit on a 20 by 24 poster. And this one right here does not fit. So the biggest size I can get is the 16 by 24. Okay, we did an example like that yesterday. You had some homework on it. Now we see another example. Hopefully that is making some sense to you. All right, and lastly, again, so this one, it says a rectangle. All right, that is important information, a rectangle. And then it gives me some information. It says that the perimeter is 20 centimeters long and one of the sides is 4 centimeters. Do you know with that you can figure out everything you need to know about this rectangle? It's true, because you know that a rectangle is a parallelogram. It's got 4 right angles. You know the opposite sides are congruent. So if one side is 4, then the other side is 4, which means 4 plus 4 is 8. So I can look at 20 and take away the 8, and I've got 12 left over. And that 12 has got to be shared excuse me, among the other 2 sides. So that means that this side would have to be 6, and this side would be 6. So just knowing the perimeter and the length of one side, I was able to put all this information together. Well, let's look at the other one. The other one's bigger, okay? But it gives us some information. We know it's a rectangle, which is a parallelogram, so the opposite sides are congruent. We know it's got right angles in every corner. This time it says the perimeter is 40. We know that one set of sides is 8 and 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. So we can go 40 minus 16. What does that leave us with? 24. We cut that in half because that's shared among those other 2 sides. So this has got to be 12 and 12. All right? And so now I can compare. The question is, are these similar? Well, clearly all the corresponding angles are congruent. That's, we always have two things. One, the corresponding angles have got to be congruent. That we have. We got all right angles. Two, the corresponding sides have got to be proportional. So we say, okay, does 4 have the same relationship? What is 4's relationship to 8? I'm looking at here going, what is 4's relationship to 8? Well, that's easy. 4 over 8, that reduces to 1/2. And then I say, well, what is 6's relationship to 12? What's a 6 relationship to 12? Well, 6 over 12, that reduces to 1/2. So it's the same proportion, the same ratio. So the sides are proportional. All right, and there you have it. This is exactly like the quiz you're getting ready to take. So if you have any questions or any things you need to see, you can rewind the video and take another quick look at it. Otherwise, good luck. Have a great weekend.